We're going to be talking about the race to 100K. And if you've seen any posts or any ads, or if you've seen any videos about the race to 100K, it probably got your attention. How can we help level up people to help them earn $100,000 in 100 days? That's the intention with the race to 100K. This is a real deal. We're actually creating a TV show around this. It's going to be coming out this fall. We're going to have, I'll tell you how the TV show came about. So I partnered up with my friend Aaron Ellis, who is going to be speaking in just a minute. Aaron is a multiple seven-figure earner, mentor, coach, speaker, facilitator, and business builder, and also investor. And I've been at the top of several different companies as well. And so we had a friendship that formed over the last year and a bit, where we decided to put our brains, put our minds, put our souls together and create something called 7-Day Weekend Mentors. And the intention with 7-Day Weekend Mentors is to help people level up in a massive way so that they can get out of their own way. In other words, the biggest thing that we found that stops people from having success is themselves, their mental narratives, their belief systems, the programs that are really just not serving them and holding them back. And we've developed a system that step by step by step helps take all of that out, helps create massive accountability, tracking, and allowing someone to really see themselves and how they're showing up so that they can understand how to show up in a more powerful way in all of their businesses. Aaron and I have both seen people go from business to business to business to business to business to business and never really ever having any success because they were always looking for the what, trying to find what business, what product, and they'll get the shiny object syndrome and they're looking over there and like, oh, Tina made 50 grand. And then they jump into that business. And then, well, Michael made 30 grand over there. Well, that must be where the gold is. And then they jump over into that, landmine and it blows up on them and nothing good happens. And they're wondering why. And then after time and time again, people start to get defeated and they start to realize that their, life ain't getting any shorter and it ain't getting any cheaper and they're nowhere where they wanted to be. And that's, I think, the story for like 95% of the population, to be honest with you, is that people, end up selling out and giving up on their hopes, their goals, and their dreams of grandeur and aspirations simply because you got to pay bills. And it's not as easy as it looks, like there's things that have to be done and things that happen in situations in our lives that get in the way. And at the end of the day, it can sort of bury us underneath all of this stuff that we can't seem to get out of. But again, that's all the story that people create for themselves. It's their justifications, it's their reasons why. But I'm telling you right now that it's not what you do that's going to dictate your success. While that's important, what's far more important is how you are showing up and how you are flowing into everything that you're doing. And the other part is this: people think that their personal, private, and secret lives is separate from their business life, and it's not. It is absolutely not. How you do one thing shows up in how you do everything. And so what we do is we teach people how to figure that out, how to see that fully, and how to move forward in a very clear, crystal clear direction in their business and be powerful. Now, what we do is we help people level up in soul set, mindset, and skill set so that they can actually tackle a business head on and actually realistically earn $100,000 in 100 days. We've been able to do it. We can help other people do it. And many people do it all over the world. But in order to have that kind of result, you really have to level up in a big way fast. So we're creating a TV show about it. And that's the coolest thing. So a month ago, we had participants who want to show up in this race, literally fly from all over the world to Las Vegas. We rented a mansion there. This huge, beautiful, gorgeous mansion. I can't remember how many rooms. I think there was like 9 big, huge rooms in it. It was beautiful. And we had a massive leveling up there. We had speakers, we had trainers and coaches and facilitators who are at the highest of the high, who are at the peak of their game, come down to help these participants level up in a massive way so that they could really ultimately break the patterns and the habits and the behaviors and the belief systems and the mental narratives that were actually what was holding them back and start showing up powerfully in their business. Now, we have seen these participants have massive transformation. It's been incredible in just a very short period of time. We've had people who are all shelled up just absolutely break out of their shell and start rocking things and become just powerful. It was a beautiful thing to watch. And so we're finishing up the 100 days. The 100 days, we are now 10 days in, and we've already got people who have earned thousands of dollars, okay? And this 10 days in is incredible. And we have 90 days left. And what you're here for right now is you were probably invited by one of the participants to show up, to be a guest, to watch, or maybe you are curious on how you can participate in the race. We have an opportunity for people who want to be watchers or viewers to act, or if you're on from Facebook, to actually show up and participate inside the race to 100K. Now, with that being said, I'm going to pass this over to Aaron Ellis, and he's going to break you through what the vision is and how this all came to be. So go ahead, Aaron.
Awesome. So guys, let me lay a little bit more foundation and whatnot before we get into all the meat of the race, as people have been asking, what's the meat? I had that asked to me a couple times today. So you're seeing on here, a leader knows the way, shows the way, goes the way, and grows the way. Okay. This is about being congruent. This is about, you know, walking your walk, and basically if you're talking the talk, you walk the walk. Okay. Now, I want to show you some photos here, and I want to help you understand why I'm showing you these photos. Okay. Remember, a leader knows the way, shows the way, goes the way, and grows the way. So what that means is, in order for you to be successful, it starts with leading yourself, period. Leadership is about leading yourself, and ultimately, that's what people follow. They don't follow what you say. You may think they do, right? And you guys have all heard that children do not do what you say to do. They do what they see you doing. Now, guys, the issue here is called integrity. When you are out of integrity, you are actually not going to get the results you're hoping for. That's what we're talking about, showing up and flowing through what you're doing. You need to flow through what you're doing with integrity. So what does that mean? It means when what you say, what you do in action, and what you think in your thoughts are all speaking the exact same message, okay? When you are out of alignment, out of integrity, it means you're thinking one thing, you're telling other people something else, and you're doing an action. It might match with what you're saying or what you're thinking, but somewhere there's a breakdown, guys. Somewhere there's a misalignment. And with that, your message becomes misaligned, and your message basically doesn't get communicated, and your hope that you're going to get a certain result actually falls by the wayside with a result that actually is subpar or not what you wanted, right? And then ultimately you blame what you were doing, you blame the person in the relationship, you blame the business opportunity, you blame your job, you blame the weather or whatever it is, rather than seeking out that personal responsibility and aligning yourself into the flow of integrity through what you're doing. Okay, what does this have to do with these pictures? Okay, so you're seeing me here in the studio, you know, singing actually the theme song to the TV show. You're seeing Shane in the studio, okay? We are both musicians. One of our passions is music and writing music and playing music. You could say one of our outer purposes, and a key thing is outer purpose, is music, is doing stuff in the music industry, right? So you're seeing my daughter watching me sing. You're seeing her over here to the right, you know, in her Elsa outfit, right? And from the word go, when I found that her mother was pregnant, I was telling her that I would support her dreams. I would cultivate her creativity. I would basically cultivate her imagination. I would never clip her wings. Okay, that's the key. I'd never clip her wings. I would support her in whatever she wanted to do. Yet in my mind, I was not supporting myself. I was clipping my own wings, right? In my actions, I was not living on purpose. I was not doing the things that I wanted to do. Now, why? Common things happen, guys. Bills happen. This or that comes up, and we say, okay, I have to sacrifice, I have to compromise, and maybe one day I'll get back to that, okay? Or I had a belief that I couldn't have music in a family. I had that belief, right? And guess what? With that belief, I had relationships fall apart. Because that belief was there, not because the relationship, it wasn't the relationship, guys. It wasn't the what, it was my belief flowing through that, okay? So you're seeing my daughter here watching me sing and me communicating to her what I had just said, that I would cultivate her creativity, her imagination. I wouldn't clip her wings. I would support her passions. She's seeing me communicate that to her in action, where now, finally, what I was saying to her, what I'm doing, and what I am thinking is all in alignment, and I am in integrity. Therefore, what I am teaching her, my hope and what she will learn, is actually being communicated. Prior, when I was saying one thing, doing something else, and thinking something else, I was lying to myself and I was lying to her. Okay, now you guys might get into justification land there and say, no, but you have to, I have to sacrifice, compromise, all that kind of stuff. Okay, right? Yet ultimately, she was learning by what I was doing. So I was setting her up to sometime in life, to be there in life going, I don't know what to do. I don't know who I am. I don't know what I want to be. Stress, struggle, frustration, possibly therapy. Okay? That is a huge lesson that I've learned, and I learn every day. Every time I see her, I need to check in with myself and what am I truly communicating to her, right? Not in words, in every aspect of communication with her, okay? So when it comes to our vision, our mission, it's to unshackle people from the conditioned constraints of society. What does that mean? It means the patterns. It means the programs. It means these habitual ways of thinking and being that we all sometimes get stuck in. I call them junk thoughts, where they're those thoughts that initially pop up immediately and we don't give them a second thought and we actually continue to act on them. Okay, they're always fearful, they're always doubtful, they're always basically an illusion, and they're always based in the past, and thus we project them into the future. They're never in the present moment. Okay, common ones are, oh, I don't like this, or I hate that. That's not true. That's a lie. You don't like or you hate your experience of something, which means you're stuck in the past and you're projecting that past into the future, and you're not in the present moment. Okay, think about this, guys. Check in with your thoughts. Your thoughts literally, they literally create your world. Literally, not figuratively, not metaphysically. Literally, they create your world. They just do. Okay, all right, so keep that in mind as we go forward. All right, so talking about the race to 100K. Shane and I want to help everybody, okay? My vision, even before meeting Shane and aligning with him, was to help every single person in the world align with their inner purpose and have it freely flow through every outer purpose that comes their way. Okay, what are they passionate about? What are their talents? What are their gifts? Those things that they might not even know are there, or they, through conditioned constraints of society, they've shoved them down. They've denied them. They've dulled them down. They've watered them down. They've said maybe someday, or they've completely given up. Okay, now, what does that have to do with financial freedom and time freedom? Well, guys, money is a utility. Listen to that again. Money is a utility. That's all it is. It's not a reason why to do anything, but I need to get out of debt. I want to build a business because I want to get out of debt. I want to be financially free. I want to have time freedom. I want to be able to spend more time with my family. Every single thing those things, the more money, time with your family, those are results. Those are not reasons why. So money is a utility and a reason why. I'm going to get into that a little bit later. Okay. But ultimately our goal, our vision, our intention is to help every single person in the world. I get told almost daily that it's impossible, and I thank them for their perspective, and I walk away and say, still gonna reach out to every person in the world. If I got to go door to door, do it on webinars, however it shows up, however the path shows up, I will tread that path, period. All right. I'm going to pass this back to Shane before we move into the what and the how and all that good stuff. And because I know he's got thoughts and stuff on this too.
Awesome. I'm finally unmuted. Release the Shane. I couldn't unmute myself, guys. Okay, so I want to talk about this. This is so powerful. And I tell this every single time we do a webinar, but I'm a musician. I'm here in my studio. I've turned my home office into my home studio for recording guitar. And the reason I did that is because I'm a musician and I love it. And all I ever wanted to do was be able to pursue my music and pursue my passion of sharing my gift of music with the world. I moved to Vancouver from a small town. I used to live in this town called Vernon. There's like 33,000 people. There wasn't really much room to grow. After a certain point, you have to move if you want to do anything. You know what I mean? So I moved to Vancouver thinking that somehow I'd end up making it. I didn't realize that everyone all of the musicians in Vancouver are so amazing. And I was like really intimidated. Wow, these musicians are just world class. But at the same time, a lot of them haven't really, no one really got out there. Like very few people, there's so much talent, but they're not making it. I thought that there'd be people getting signed up for record deals left, right, and center, but it doesn't actually work that way. And nobody was really buying what I was selling because the way that I was marketing it, the way I was going about it wasn't really super effective. I just an instrumental acoustic guitar player. Well, how am I going to take that out to the world? How am I going to make that work? But at the same time, while that was a challenge, you know, my mindset, my belief systems were what were creating the challenge around that. I didn't have the network. I didn't know the people. I didn't have the money. I didn't have the time. I was working a dead-end job. I had health issues. I had all these things that were affecting me. You know, I had a history in my youth where my earlier mid-20s, I went through a lot of addictions and really tough times, and I really kind of messed up my life in a bad way. And there was a lot of residual energy still clinging to me, sticking to me from that. A lot of patterns, a lot of behaviors, a lot of mindsets, a lot of negative self-worth and negative belief programs that were in my mind. And so I was really holding myself back. Now, I had the blessing of meeting a lot of mentors and a lot of coaches along the way that helped me see the parts of myself that I wasn't really looking at and help me reshape and reshift and re-narrate the, you know, those negative programs that I had running in my mind that were really stopping me from actually pursuing and connecting, because I owned the story. I used to be so identified with my thought. I used to think that the thoughts I thought about myself were who I was. Does that make sense? In other words, when you're thinking a story about yourself, like, I'm overwhelmed. Oh, I'm always paying these bills, always sick, always struggling, always doing this, and I'm not good enough, and I don't have any friends, I don't have any this, I don't have that. When you're playing with that story, that's actually a lie. You're lying to yourself when you have those things going on, because you're thinking that you're your thoughts. You are not your thoughts. The thought of I don't have any friends, the thought of I'm not good enough, the thought that I don't have the skills, the thought is a thought alone. That's all it is a thought. But if you allow that thought to be who you are, to identify with yourself as that thought, then you'll never exceed or break out of that. You have to literally change the way you think about things. And as Aaron says, and Wayne Dwyer says, if you change the way you look at things, the things that you look at will change. And it was because of having mentors and coaches that I was able to change the way I looked at things. And I realized it was not the world happening to me. It was my perception of the world happening to me. But when I shifted the way I looked at it, I realized that everything was actually a blessing and everything was happening for me. And I was able to change my attitude, change my behavior, change my state, change the way I came across to people in a way that actually helped me have more success. Now, I got into business and ended up hitting some home runs because I got into business because I wanted to create more time and financial freedom. I was ultimately able to do that over a handful of years, where I got my residual income up into the 5-figure mark, which is unreal. It's a beautiful thing. And then I flew off to Cabo last year in November because I wanted to hang out with a buddy of mine. And I had my guitar, and I realized, like, wow, I actually had made it to a place where I'd originally wanted. As a musician, all I wanted was to have more time and more financial freedom so I could play music and work on my craft and not have to worry about a job, not have to worry about money. Well, finally I got to that place where, but in the journey of getting through all of the hardships and all of the programs and all of the ups and downs and the struggles and the battles and the peaks and the valleys and everything that I went through to get to that place, I realized that that journey was really, that was what it was about. That was life. And helping other people get to and explore and pursue their actual passion is a passion of mine. It's a passion of Aaron's. That's why we're doing this, because I want to help you. Aaron wants to help you. We want to help you get back to your passion, get back to ultimately yourself, so that you can really show up in everything in your life. What we've learned is that you can't do, you can't do everything. Let me rephrase this. There's no two yous. You can't have a separate you from your business life and your personal life. It's one whole life. And so by helping people level up, it's not just business. It's leveling up in every area of your life. And by leveling up and continuously leveling up in every area of your life keeps progressing, keeps getting better. And we formed a community of people who all understand that and they all get it. And is this the slide with the mountain or whatever? Or is that the next? Do we do that?
The mountain.
Yeah, the people on the mountain.
That was on the previous slide.
Oh, geez, yeah, sorry, yeah, right. I wanted to do. I had a thing I was going to say about that, and this is it. Is as a community, not only are we helping people level each other up as mentors, but as a community, we understand that we're all on this journey together, and we're all making a hike up to the highest heights of mountains, you know? And the cool thing is, as a community, as a team, we all do this together. It's like we have this lifeline. It doesn't matter what business that person ahead of you is doing or the person behind you is doing. We're all in the same team because we're all speaking the same language. We all have the same commonality. We all have the same end goal of really just up-leveling the entire world. And by working as a tight-knit community and a team who are accountable to each other, who love each other, who help each other, who are friends with each other, it's like having a lifeline on all these hikers who are making it up the mountain. And so the thing is, if one person slips, that lifeline catches the person, right? Might tug a couple people who are close, but at the end of the day, as a team, we all help pull each other back up. You got to understand that this mission is bigger than just Aaron and I. It's bigger than you. It's bigger than Frank. It's better than Jamie. It's bigger than any one person, because it literally is a vision that is meant to include everybody. This is huge, guys. And so, yeah, our goal, we want to help the world achieve financial freedom, time freedom, with technology, with marketing, with coaching, with mentoring, with accountability, with tracking, with teaching people in personal development. Absolutely, this can be something that we'll do. So I'll pass it back to you, Ron.
Awesome.
Over.
Let's keep moving forward here. All right, so a couple thoughts here, guys. Your talents aren't yours to hide. They're gifts to the world. This is in line with what we've been saying, okay? Traverse the barriers of fear and share for the joy of all. This is what we're talking about. This is about you showing up in your life, in your business, in your relationships, in your in everything, guys, in your exercise, everything. It's about you showing up, okay? I hear people constantly say, you know what, it's good enough. And they say, you know, like, I'm okay. And they say statements like that. Those are junk thoughts. And ultimately, the worst enemy of best is good. And get to the point where only the best is good enough. Keep working towards that, okay? Somebody else said the other night saying, keep working until your good becomes better and your better becomes best. I think that was something her grandmother told her years and years ago. It's a cool statement, right? Those are the things that you need to have become habitual thoughts that pop up every time something happens in your life, right? When you start to go, man, this is tough, but it's good enough. Only the best is good enough. Oh yeah, only the best is good enough. And then you step forward again. Guys, it's literally about biologically carving new grooves in your brain, okay? Money is a result. Money's a result, period. I know that might be confusing to some of you, but ultimately it's a result. The result of money in your life now is based on how you've been showing up and flowing through life, through business, through life, through everything. Not just business, okay? Also through life. And here's a little bit of a seed to plant, something to understand. Look around your house, look around your space. How does the things money can buy look like in your home? Are you taking care of them? Do you honor them? Because if you're not honoring what money can buy, you're not going to get more money. You're not going to change your results of money, period, guys. It just doesn't happen that way. It's not possible, okay? So your current result is based on how you've been showing up and flowing through life. A lot of times it's been playing the blame game, meaning you've maybe owned up to some stuff, but ultimately you're like, oh, it just wasn't the right job. It wasn't the right time. This person let me down. This happened, that happened. It wasn't the right training program, whatever it was. There was blame there, period, guys. Let go of all those things. Find your personal responsibility. That's where your power is, and that's where you will start taking action and showing up and flowing different, and thus your results will be different. It is literally that simple, okay? Now, we have a blueprint. What do you mean, Aaron? Okay, we know the way and we show the way. We know the areas that people must level up in to make that kind of money in that amount of time. We know what has to happen, what needs to shift, both internally and externally, meaning we know the skill sets they need to learn. We know what people need to do. We know what path they need to tread to start at base camp and hit the summit. We know that, okay? The numbers are there. The science is there. We've done it over and over again with people, over and over and over and over again with people, okay? It's there. The path is there, okay? Now, the difference is the person. Now, think about this for a second. The difference is the person. Some of you are already saying, well, what's on the blueprint? Some of you are saying, I need to see the whole blueprint before I make my decision. Some of you are saying, already going into some what's the word? I was going to say self-deprecating, but I don't think that's the word I'm looking for. Self-depreciating, whatever it is, where you're putting yourself down saying, I can't do it. You're going into some of these common excuses. Okay, these are the most common excuses, and I actually Googled most common excuses today, and this is what came up. I think this is pretty freaking awesome, guys. Self-defeating. Thank you, Sue. Sue, aren't you the one that also said the thing about when you're good till your good becomes better and your better becomes best? I think that was Sue the other night. So I don't have enough money. These are the most common excuses. These are also what I call those junk thoughts, those thoughts that pop up immediately. No matter what you're doing, they pop up immediately. Because why? Because biologically, science proves this, you have treaded the same path in thought, in action, and what you're saying, carved a groove in your brain. The neurons travel there with ease, with peace and ease and freedom, because you've been consistent and you've been self-disciplined. Okay? Keep that in mind. I just kind of dropped another seed on you there. What else? I don't have the time. Another common one that pops up. Okay? There's too much competition. I hear this one all the time too, guys. We don't believe in competition. We believe in collaboration. And with that, we're never in competition with anybody. It's pretty cool. The timing just isn't right. I don't have all the skills I need. These are the most common excuses for not starting a business or failing in a business, an online business or whatnot. Now, look at this picture to the right. If you really want to do something, you'll find a way. If you don't, you'll find an excuse. That is the truth, okay? All these are what are basically aligned with the statement that says you're missing the forest for the tree. So what does that mean? I don't have enough money, banging your head against that tree over and over again. I don't have the time, too much competition, timing isn't right, my health isn't right, all those kind of things, bang, bang, bang. And you need to zoom out to see the forest, which means there's all these options that you aren't even aware are there because you bang your head against that tree. And because this is my favorite one, okay? Actually, I just looked this up. I want you guys to hear this. I heard this today and I hear it all the time. It's like, Aaron, I'm just being realistic. I'm just being realistic. Okay, now let me talk to you about realistic for a second. This touches on what Shane talked about too, okay? There's you and there's your thoughts. That very statement shows the owner and the owned. It shows separation. It shows a difference, right? Just like your car, you're not your car. Your computer, you're not your computer. Your clothes, you're not your clothes. Your thoughts, you are not your thoughts, okay? Reality is in the objective world. So what do I mean by that? I mean what actually is, what is realistic, because the definition is interested in or based on what is real. Realistic means interested in or based on what is real. Stay with me now for a second, guys, okay? All solutions, peace, ease, and freedom is in what is real. I'm going to give you an example in a second. Stress, struggle, and problems, what is unreal is the story we tell about what is real. Remember, we are over here. In reality, this is real. This is realistic. This is story. This is illusion, okay? This isn't real. So let me give you an example based on some of these excuses, okay? I don't have enough money. First of all, you basically enough money. What does that mean? That is subjective in itself. What do you mean by enough? Okay, that's a story you tell about money. Let's remove the subjective and just be realistic for a minute. Let's move the word enough because that's super story, super subjective. I don't have money. Is that true? You have no money, zero money, right? So even if you have zero money, there is a solution here. There's not a solution here. I don't have money. I am going to figure out a way to get money. What can I do to get money? And you continue to come up with solutions. Over here, it's, I don't have any money. Oh my God, what am I going to do? I need to pay my bills. I'm already behind. They don't know what I'm dealing with. They don't have all the circumstances. I'm having trouble feeding my family. I'm totally in debt. I'm this and that. Story. And after that whole vomit session happens usually, and I'm not putting you down, guys. I'm not discounting where you're at. Where you're at is real to you in your subjective story about life. That's what you need to see, okay? After that happens, people say, and they say, I hear what you're saying, Aaron, but I'm just being realistic. But remember, realistic, interested in or based on what is real. Guys, let that sink in for a second, okay? All right. Shane, do you have anything to add to this before I move on? Because we're cranking through this tonight.
Yeah, no, it just ties back into what I was talking about. Like, that was the biggest thing that was holding me back was I had the word subjective, like my opinionated viewpoint on my story, who I thought I was. I thought I was this kid who wasn't enough. I thought I was this guy who had no connections. I thought I was this person who was doomed to fail. I thought I was never smart enough. I actually believed these things. Now, would I have told you this stuff outright? maybe sometimes if I was depressed and looking for attention, but usually it was just the stuff that I didn't actually express. But really, if you were to express truthfully and honestly how you actually feel about yourself, without saying, oh, I'm fine, everything's good, I feel really good today, I had a good workout. But if you actually took a look and you actually look at how you're truly viewing yourself in your life, take a look at your life, and the way that your life is an expression of the way you view yourself. Okay, everything that's outside of you is a reflection of what's going on inside of you. And so that's all about your narratives, your stories. And it's just mental chatter, guys. You are not that story. I'm not that story. It's a nice book, but sometimes you have to know when to put the book away and put it back on the shelf and get ready for a new chapter, or just write your own story, because you have that power, right? But at the end of the day, you got to realize that it's be aware of this. Like, there's this great book by Eckhart Tolle called The Power of Now. And some people like that guy, some people don't. I just think it's a great book because it helps you understand that you are aware of your thoughts. You are aware of your thoughts. There's the inner dialogue or monologue you've got going on even right now. As I'm talking to you, you're either agreeing or disagreeing with what we're talking about. You're either looking at this with an open mind and even from an objective viewpoint, or you're looking at it from a somewhat closed mind, somewhat open mind, but coming at it from a subjective filter. In other words, your negative or your potential, not even negative, but your opinions, your viewpoints, that is based off of a story. I'll give you an example of what I mean by that. My dad, I love my dad. He's a great guy. We're best friends. He's so awesome. However, when I was a kid, he used to watch the news, and I didn't know that he had 7 contracting construction companies back when I was 3-4 years old, playing Lego and constructs in the living room when he was watching the news. Well, the government changed some things. His account ripped him off. There's a bunch of stuff happened in his life, and basically he had to declare bankruptcy, and it was a really, really hard time for him. And he went through, he went through the ringer, and he would beak off when he was watching news. I love when he does it now because it's really funny. But he would always be like, bunch of rich crooks watching the news, right? And so me being this 3-year-old kid, I'm like, yeah, rich crooks, suckers, I hate them all too, because that was dad saying that stuff, right? Now, fast forward to 28 years old, I couldn't hold 2 pennies together. I literally could not. My story said rich people are crooks. My story said rich people are all evil. People who have money are rotten. They're bad people. Like, I actually had this in my head. Now, I didn't voice that. I didn't even think that I had that. But that actually energetically, systemically was there. It's this funny story. I call my dad. I'm like, Dad, I think you made me broke for a long time, and I'll tell you why. And he's like, really? And I says, yeah, I forgive you. It's all good. And he's like, I guess I did say this stuff, but, sorry. You didn't know, it's just these little things. We don't filter so much stuff that's just stored in our subconscious belief systems, right? And it affects everything, guys. It affects stuff that happened to you when you're 5 years old, still affects you now. You don't know that it's happening, but it's actually there because it's created a story that you've owned and that you've been filtering the world through. And when you understand that, and we understand how to program your subconscious mind rather than be programmed by it, then you have your power back. Okay, you can see the things that are working for you and the things that are not working for you, but ultimately excuses sure as heck ain't working for you. So how can we get you over those excuses and into flow and into power? I'll pass it back to Aaron.
I just had a thought arise based around all these excuses, all these reasons why, these justifications, whatever you guys want to call them, however they're showing up in your mind and how you're categorizing them. Okay. I was talking with somebody recently, a person who wanted to be a home participant. We went through a lot of these. They went through the I don't have the money. We went through I don't have the time. We zoomed out from those trees, right? We went through I don't have the skills I need. We zoomed out from that, right? And then the next basically hurdle was, I want exactly what you're talking about. I want that peace and ease and freedom you're talking about. And I just don't have the self-discipline. I don't have self-discipline. That was their next hang up. Okay. Now let me tell you what I said next. I recapped what they said to me. I said, okay, well, let's set that aside for a second. Let me ask you a few questions. They said, okay, sure. What's going on? And I said, tell me about your job again. I'm like, oh, I hate my job. I'm like, how long have you been working there again? Oh, like 7 years. I'm like, okay. Now, do you get up every day? Are you pretty much on time every day? Yeah, you know, I get up and I got to be on time. If I'm not on time, I'm gonna lose my job, right? I'm like, so have you become pretty self-sufficient there? Meaning, do you know your job pretty well that you could pretty much do it in your sleep? Oh yeah, it's so easy now. I just show up and I could just do it, you know. But I'm not fulfilled. I don't like it. They went into that thing, right? And I'm like, okay, so let me recap exactly what you said. You've been working the same job for 7 years, and you get up and you're on time every day. So, and you also have learned your job so well that you could do it while you're sleeping, right? So let's see. You have self-disciplined yourself constantly for 7 years to get out of bed and get to work on time. You self-discipline yourself to learn that job to the point where it's become second nature, which means that you are in a state of peace and ease and freedom with that job. Guys, change the way you look at things, and the things you look at change, okay? All of you have your version of that very story. Even if it's those same excuses that come up. Let's take another comment. I'm not a salesperson. Well, guess what? You are such a powerful salesperson that you sell so many people on the fact that you're not a salesperson that you probably have a whole group of friends who agree with you that they're not salespeople either. You've built a team around it, guys. Think about this. You've got to look at things differently, okay? Now, we cannot solve our problems with the same thinking we used when we created them. This is key for you guys to understand. This is everything we're talking about. This is what we mean when we're saying you need to show up different. You need to change how you're flowing through life. You need to own who you are, be personally responsible, and actually start to make mindful decisions. Catch those junk thoughts, those trees that come up that you run into constantly. Okay, and change how you're doing things. If you don't, you will not get different results. No matter how perfect a company is, how perfect a system is, how perfect the training is, how perfect you craft your words and your advertisements and your narratives, no matter any of that, if you're flowing through it the same way you have been, you will not get any better results. You won't, and it will unravel. Any results you do get will unravel. It's as simple as that. Okay, so we talked about a blueprint. Remember how we said we have basically, we know exactly what people need to do to be able to level up that fast to achieve that result of $100,000 in 100 days, okay? We went through all the reasons why and the excuses, which leads me to tell you about the roadmap. This is where it's individualized. So for those of you with all those reasons why not, this is where we zoom you out from all those trees so you can see the forest. It needs to be personalized. It does. Okay, so what do I mean? Some people come in with a high level of understanding of themselves. They've done personal development. They have the seeds planted. We just need to water them and get them to grow and shift. Awesome. Some people come in and they have no idea what we're talking about. These things we're presenting, the truths we're presenting on our webinars are aha moments for them. Awesome. Some people come in with some level of skill set in some sort of marketing, in image creation, whatever it is that will align with the business they build. That's great. We just refine, we sharpen, and we continue to expand that. Some people come in with no level of understanding on skill set or the belief that they have no level. That's fine too. Some people come in with more time than others. Some people come in with more responsibilities with others. Some people come with health problems. Some people don't. Guys, that's fine. All those things are fine because the circumstances you're in are ideal, okay? In your pre-work, we dive into all that stuff. Notice the word your in this. Every facet of your life, develop your roadmap based on your current circumstances and set the foundation for your success, okay? This is where it's individualized, and we meet you where you're at, and we teach you to do the same. Part of this pre-work, for those of you who have this question in your mind or are constantly asking, is aligning you with the vehicle that you're going to be fired up about and inspired by and are interested in, okay? The what is included in the pre-work. But what is it? Guys, we have multiple options for you. Whether it's options that Shane and I have already known the way, gone the way, and shown the way constantly and grown the way to where it's super self-sufficient. We're at the top of multiple companies. We know the path, right? Or if it's a company that you bring to us, it happens all the time. I was on a Zoom with a guy who's signing up just before this webinar who has his own company he's working with. That's awesome too. Maybe you have a brick and mortar business. That's awesome too. The key thing is it needs to be something you're interested in, fired up about, inspired by. Otherwise, we know that that is such a key ingredient that if we do not make sure that we have that ingredient in the mix, you won't succeed, period. And we will keep perpetuating the old path you were on, thinking that if you just find the right what, doesn't matter if I'm interested, I'll figure out what I'm interested in later. I just need money. If I find the right what, then I'll succeed. We know that doesn't work. Okay. So we are not keeping the what from you. We just don't know what the what's going to be for you. It's that simple. It really is that simple. We're almost done, guys. I'm going to pass it back to Shane here before we wrap this up for you guys.
Awesome, Aaron. So yeah, when it comes to the what, don't worry about that. It's more important how you're showing up and flowing through things. And like I said, the main thing we're going to help you figure out is, and I want to make this also clear because, and maybe Aaron's touched on this, we're not a network marketing company. Yes, there are companies that we represent, that we talk about, that we approve of course, and companies is in plural, okay? But we as 70 Weekend Mentors, we are simply a program that's going to help you understand how to get rid of the mental dialogue and the mental chatter and the negative self-talk and the things that are getting in your way. We help you become massively accountable, massively trackable. We help you level up in a way like you probably never leveled up before. Consider this a personal development business boot camp. And what we do is we get real with people real fast to help them get really big results really quickly. We have things that we know for sure are realistic that can help you achieve a very high level of financial success. Of course, it doesn't matter if you're in the best product, best company, best team, best program, best mentoring, best anything. It's not about the what. What is more important is how you're showing up. And again, that's our goal. Our agenda is to help you figure that out and ultimately get to a place where you are in power, living your purpose, your passion, your destiny. Again, the goal is to help you figure out that time and financial thing. So once that's solved, by showing up in, by the way, the only way you solve that with what we do is by serving other people at a very high level. When you figure that out, now it's the next level is getting into your passion and truly pursuing your global vision, whatever that is. And if that scares you, then you definitely need to stay tuned here because we're not just talking the talk, guys. We're literally making a TV show. All right. Like that just takes a whole lot right there to get done. At the same time, we're building the program. And Aaron and I both have albums that are coming. I got acoustic prayers coming up. And you're going to see music videos. You're going to see stuff that's being developed. It's awesome. That's in the works. It's going down. Aaron's got an album he's releasing as well. So we're not just saying this, guys. You're going to watch us do what we're teaching people how to do. And the people we're teaching how to do that will be teaching people how to do that too. Was that a rhyme?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. All right. Maybe I should have wrote that down. Anyways, I hope somebody did. I'll pass it back to you, Aaron.
All right, I just had another thought arise, and I want to take the opportunity to help you guys reframe something and realize that when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change, okay? So here's a question, and just because Shane brought up network marketing, and we're not a network marketing company, and I think it's funny that some people have thought that. Now, so that's a trigger word for people. That's what we mean by a trigger word, where they go into this narrative like, oh, I hate network marketing.
Oh my gosh, some people, it's like they're vampires, and it's like throwing silver and garlic at them, like, ah! They almost explode. It's hilarious.
You hate your experience of, whether you've had a personal experience or not. Okay, so let me ask you guys a question. I'm going to give you a really like a simple insight into how when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change, which is where the PCs and freedom is, where those thoughts were concerning. Okay, so I can't see your hands, but I'm going to ask you, how many of you guys like Starbucks coffee? Now pause a second. And how many of you were triggered by that and said, oh, I don't like Starbucks. It's too expensive. I don't like that they burn their beans. I like coffee bean better. I like this. I like this. I like this. That's what's called a trigger, where you went into that story just by me saying the word Starbucks. Some of you probably said, I love Starbucks. And I don't know why people like these other coffee companies. Starbucks is the best. That's a trigger, okay? Now, let me go into why I brought that up. So how many of you like Starbucks, or whatever coffee shop it is you like? How many of you have ever told a friend that you like Starbucks coffee? Or coffee bean. I love coffee bean. I prefer coffee bean. That's in California. How many of you have ever talked about a coffee shop and told, oh, I love their coffee and stuff? How many of you met somebody there? Hey, meet me over here. I love their coffee. Okay. That is called marketing to your network. Wait a minute. What? You're a network marketer? What? I thought you hated network marketing, but you've been doing it for Starbucks. Oh my gosh. Guys, think about it. Marketing is simply sharing. The word marketing means sharing. Don't put an attachment to it, meaning, oh, it has to do with money and it has to do with friends and family and it has to do with people who've let me down in the past and all these experiences. It's just sharing. Anything that you like that you've talked to somebody about, whether it's coffee or food or a movie you watch, you are marketing to them when you tell them that you liked it. And they are your network, meaning people that you know that you are connected to. Change the way you look at things and the things you look at change, guys. That's simple. All right. So I love this picture on the left. Knock, knock, who's there? Opportunity. Opportunity here. Who? Does it matter? Just open up. But what am I going to be doing? We just told you. We need to work with you to find out what you're going to be doing because it needs to be what you love to do, not what we love to do. We don't take people and shove them into a mold. We basically help you show up and figure out how to fit something to you, not the other way around. Now, life begins at the end of your comfort zone. Some of you might look at this picture and immediately you got your stomach dropped. You're, oh, you know, you see that? I would be like, oh, that's awesome. How far down is it? Can I jump? If I hit, you know what? You know, all that kind. I love it, guys. I'm an adrenaline junkie though, right? Now, some of you are like, oh, I'm not an adrenaline junkie, so I think you're crazy. That's great. That's still story. You can say that stuff to me, but don't let that hang you up and miss what I'm talking about on a slide just because there's a picture of some guy sitting on a cliff. That's story again. Okay, so this is, we're almost done here, guys, so stick with me for a second. I like to see who's still on. I say that every time. I look over on my screen over here to see because this is a trigger also for people. This is also an initial path, an initial barrier of entry, you could call it, which means that this is a push out of your comfort zone. This is a shift from head to heart to doing something in a different way. All right, so if you're ready to commit to changing your results by becoming a home participant, key thing there, guys, you want to change your results, which means you got to change the way you've been doing things, okay? Now, there's a money back guarantee. The program is actually free, guys, and I'm going to explain what I mean by free, and I'm also going to explain by what I mean by money back guarantee. But first, I'm going to explain what you are programmed, the constraints, condition constraints, to understand and do based on the grooves that have been carved in your brain through repetition of impressions and thought and action to believe when a money back guarantee happens. This is what's called a contrived manipulative marketing tactic, not for us, but for most people that use this, because here's what happens and here's what they know happens. You see money back guarantee and everybody to some degree or another in some wording goes, they exhale, their shoulders soften, they say, okay, if I can get my money back, I'll go ahead and give it a try. I'll try because if I fail, I'll get my money back. And they perpetuate the victim mentality and the path of failure. Okay, businesses know this, guys. They build businesses on this. Okay, now let's talk about how this differs. And we already lost one person, which is pretty cool. And let's talk about how this differs in what we're doing and why it differs and why you need to pay attention to this. Okay, there's $1,000 deposit. I thought you said it was free. I did. Guys, this is a deposit. It is not a cost. Okay, this is not an income for us. It's a deposit. Now, how does that align with what I said about, you know, comfort zones and pushing me? And what did he say? Guys, a lot of people, first of all, are in that I don't have the money. That's that junk thought that pops up before they even have a chance to do anything else. Okay? Doesn't, and some people just right now are like, he doesn't know my circumstances. I really don't. Great. Reach out. We'll zoom you out from that tree. We'll show you a different angle, a different vantage point. Okay? This is a deposit. Okay? Meaning you get it back. A lot of times it's a comfort zone push because people, a lot of people in their condition constraint will easily give money to their family, to you know, their church, or to some other project or movement that they believe in. But when it comes in to investing in themselves, they have trouble doing that. They will even go out and buy new outfits, pay for resumes to get done, put gas in their car, eat the food where they're looking for a job, go on interview after interview, investing that money to invest in somebody else's dream by getting a job. Okay? They'll do it that way, but when it comes to investing themselves, it's tough for them. Now, shift. Remember, no more victim mentality. This is about owning your success, not if I'll try because I get my money back. This is, know what? You know what? I'm going to do this because I'm going to get my money back, because I'm going to own my success this time. I'm going to show up different. I'm going to change the way I've been doing things. I'm no longer going to align with the definition of insanity, doing the same thing over and over again, thinking I'm going to get a different result. And when we help you reach the first benchmark of $10,000, you get your deposit back. No, this is not about, I've had people say, oh, so you're only going to help us make 10,000? No, guys, listen to the whole thing I said. When we help you reach the first benchmark, read the words, the benchmark. That is just a step along the way, another base camp towards the summit of 100,000. We're going to work day in and day out to get you to 100,000. This is just, this initial deposit comes back to you at that time. Now, it's all congruent and in alignment with everything else we've said, that you have to show up and flow through it. We have the paths. We have the way to do it. Every single participant has made money in their first week. A whole bunch of them made money on their first day. So 100% of the people are getting results, 100% right now. Okay, keep that in mind. We have the system, we have the tools, we have everything in place for that. Yet you have to show up and flow through it, which is why there's no guarantees, because you are the missing piece of the puzzle. You are the primary factor in your success. Okay, so this isn't a guarantee that you're going to make $100,000. This isn't a guarantee that you're going to make 10,000. This is us offering you a hand up in a big way, massive accountability, meeting you where you're at, teaching you to do the same, and getting you there with you, climbing the mountain with you. All right, guys, I'm going to pass this back to Shane to wrap it up. I might say goodbye in the end here.
Awesome, Aaron. So awesome, guys. So I hope you understand something is that we just want you to put some skin in the game so that you're going to show up and pay attention. Free doesn't work, and that's why you have to get you to put a deposit down. Once you earn 10 grand, you know, we're going to help guide you to that. We're not trying to help you make just 10 grand. We're trying to help you make 100 grand. We had a contestant make over $2,000 today alone. So, you know, $10,000 is not a challenge. It's not an obstacle. And that's money you're earning through business. And we are going to guide you through how to do that. Okay. So it's really a simple process to get started, guys. You go to 7dayweekendmentors.com. You click on Race to 100K. You click on Register Now. Now, here's the thing. We're here to guide you every step of the way, just like Aaron said. And you have to understand this, is that if you're looking at $1,000, like it's not doable. If you can't see an option for it, if you don't know what's up, if you are hesitant, if you're skeptical, if you have questions, or if you're maxed out on your credit cards, you don't know how to even come up with the money and you're worried about rent, or maybe you're super mega rich and you just don't even want to, you don't know. Let's just enter a conversation. So you can reach out to Aaron and I. I've had people reaching out to me all the time who just have a couple questions and ultimately help them get started. Reach out to us. Don't hesitate. You know, you only know what you know. You don't know what you don't know. And at the end of the day, I used to not know a lot of stuff. I was in this little cocoon, and I still don't know a lot of stuff, guys, you know, but I know a few things well. And I know that I used to be stuck in this puzzle where I had no credit. I had no money. I had very little income, and all of the money that I did have was going to pay rent. And so I still had to figure it out back in the day, and I had to get over obstacles, but it was by having a conversation where I removed the fear, where I removed my subjective story about not being good enough, not being capable of doing stuff, and just entered a conversation with a mentor, with a coach who was able to help shift my perspective on things. Again, when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. We're not trying to make money on your $1,000. We're trying to give that back to you by helping you make 10 grand. So keep that in mind. Reach out to us. We are making a TV show about this. So you know we believe in what we do when you make a TV show about it. Okay? When you know millions of people will be watching. So guys, we're going to get an opportunity to become one of the home participants. Join it. Check it out, guys. This can be the greatest year of your life. And regardless of whether you do this or not, I hope that it is. But I know that if you join, that this is going to be a real rattle the cage for you. It'll be a real disruption of what you've been doing, because again, we have to change the way that you've been doing things. We have to disrupt your patterns. And so if you're not happy with every aspect of your life, if there's areas you know you can improve, if there's money that you're leaving on the table, if there's an opportunity after opportunity after opportunity you've tried at and haven't had success, work with us. Let us help get you through that so you can learn the foundational principles on success, and also how to build those principles up in other people, because this is ultimately a program that develops leaders who develop leaders, and so on and so forth. So go to 7dayweekendmentors.com, click on Race to 100K, register now, and then you can join up with us. Anything else you want to throw in there, Aaron?
You know, just the last part, guys, zero expectations or attachments to outcome with you guys. We're here to serve. We're here to help. We're here to continue to invite you to these webinars. Realize that even though they might be about the Race to 100K, or they might be about 7-Day Weekend Mentors, they're also about every single facet of your life. The value we offer, the truths we offer, apply to everything you do. And again, they're free. Come on. check them out, keep coming back. Whether you're supporting somebody in the race, you're still curious yourself, you're skeptical, and you want to, you know, put the pieces together in your head in the puzzle, that's fine. And again, zero expectation. You know, I had a message today from somebody that I've talked to 3 or 4 times now, who's considering being a home participant. I think Shane's actually been on a call with this person as well. And here's what I mean. I've spoken with this person multiple times, and with zero expectation or attachment, meaning when I went into that call with them, it wasn't, okay, I'm going to get them to sign up for the race. That was not even part of my paradigm or my thought process. It was, how can I serve this person? Got a message saying, thank you for my time. And they're going to, you know, weigh out their options and stuff. And they're going to continue to think and contemplate and pray on it. And also, thank you for continuing to allow me to come to you and helping me see things. And you actually have given me a few aha moments that have helped me in other areas of my life. To me, that's a win right there. Even if I didn't know, even if this person didn't tell me that, that's a win for me, because it's in the giving I receive, and Shane understands that and lives that too. All right, guys. So we love you. Keep coming back. Reach out to us if you have any questions. And yeah, we'll see you on the next one.
Take care, guys.